Okay, so what we're about to start is the last of the after effects exercises or assessments that we'll be doing for this subject. And this will take us over the mid-semester break, and the last working week will be the first week back. Okay. Now, I'm just coming to the brief, and we're creating a 20-second, 20 to 30 promotion for an event called the Festival of Dangerous Ideas, which is actually a event that's held annually, and but what we'll do is you'll be also having the potential to do this as a rebrand as well. Okay, so what the Festival of Dangerous Ideas is, it's been going for, let's say, 15 years. Previously, it was held at the Sydney Opera House, and for this promotion, it is being held at the Sydney Opera House. In actual fact, it's an event that is staged at a variety of locations. Now, what it is let's just say at this point of time, there are a number of issues affecting the world in an array of ways, whether it be things like climate change, war, fake news, AI, gender politics, a lot of things. And so the Festival of Dangerous Ideas is an event that brings together a range of speakers who will sit in a panel operation, and people will actually pay and come and listen to. Okay, so to give you an example, this is
in a very different kind of structural political challenge with climate change, a much harder one.
Dealing with climate change.
Ways. I think there are messages, to go to Jess's point, we can change quickly if we see the value. And if you think about what governments would need to do to ensure every single job in the fossil fuel industry, every single person who works.
Okay. So your demographic is essentially people who are interested in the state of the world and ways in which positive change can perhaps be taken on board. Okay, so it's not a K-pop concert or anything like. It's quite a serious discussion, and it's for people for whom these issues are discussed. Okay. Let's come over here. This here is actually a similar festival called Antidote, which is also held annually at the Sydney Opera House. And I'll show you some examples of both Festival of Dangerous Ideas and some Antidote ones. But it's to deal with ways in which people can foster attitudes and perhaps enact a degree of change in the world. So that's what you're doing. Now, you can do this as a rebrand, but you can also use existing graphics. You'll find that I've got a There will be some Illustrator files which actually do have the logo, as well as the Sydney Opera House. Okay. Hashtag FODI as well. So you're going to be creating a dynamic, engaging sequence promoting this event. Now, it can be purely text and graphic based. It can use video, but it's not specifically dependent on that. Okay. In 20 seconds, you're not going to be able to cover the whole gamut of discussion points. So you can use hot buzzwords. We'll talk about those down the track. So what we have is you must use the Ethics Centre Presents. Okay, so the Ethics Centre is run out of Sydney University. Festival of Dangerous Ideas. It has a tagline that you must use. A Festival of Ideas, Art and Change. We've got some dates, the Sydney Opera House logo. There will be a URL address, and you'll also use a hashtag as well as social media icons. Okay, just in terms of promoting. So in the 20-ish seconds, that information needs to be conveyed. Okay, so there's a range of other things that we can use, and I'll talk about them. But we have this event that you are essentially creating a promo for. It would be seen on social media. It would be seen Google Ads, YouTube. It would be seen on site. The Opera House would be seen in train station, wherever their promotions can be presented. So it's not an interactive thing. You need to convey what it is, where it is, when it is, how can I find out more information? Okay, so that's there. Now, what I've popped up here are some handy hints. Okay, so you can use hot words as well as, so you need to use the tagline, but you could use, politics, climate change, fake news, money, AI. There's a whole range of things we could do. The whole document, now this will have a storyboard, it will have mood boards, it will have an idea about who the demographic is, who you are communicating to, style guides, okay, what typefaces, colour palette that you do use. And so what I've done is I've put up some handy hints for beginning this. Okay. Understand that there's a certain amount of information that needs to be communicated in that 20 to 30 seconds. So that's the most important thing that you are allocating time for. There's a whole lot, you can use whatever else in terms of time is to populate it and feed it and the like. So plan with that timeline. So if we just come up here, there we go. Do this. Just as a rough, I put up the timeline. I think I might put it up on the SBS one that you can use. And so what we have here is just a way in which you can plan that text within the time. So you're using it like a recipe in a cookbook, okay? And this just helps you allocate time for it. So that's a handy thing to think about. It's important that the essence of the sequence is there. The tagline is there, but also think about engaging the audience. So it's not sitting up there like highway signage telling people where the next turn off on the M4 is. It's got to be a bit more engaging to draw people into the sequence. So you'll have a look, a graphic look for this sequence. Okay. Images, graphics, etc., etc. So I've given just some other examples of ways you could do things. More than welcome to use these or none of them, but a weekend of ideas, art, change, recharge, rethink, take stock, take action, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there's a whole lot of buzzwords that are there. If you want buzzwords, it just gives people an idea about this event. Okay. Pandemic panic. Okay, so there's a range of things that you can use. There is actually a website for the actual event itself. Again, it's not like you have to use this or take it on board, but just giving you an idea about how the communication of the essence of the event can be put together with other stuff. Okay. So, what can we show you? I think I put together something quickly. Let's just see. I like playing around with things. And we're using After Effects. You'll find there'll be some previous examples here. Now, I've added these ones called Antidote. Let's say a couple of semesters ago, for a number of semesters, we did this assessment with Antidote. It's now back to the Festival of Dangerous Ideas. There's a range of different things there we can look at. Where are we? Where are we? So I'll show you some of these just to give you an idea. Now, if you think about a sequence, it can also be looped. Now, this one here doesn't have sound. And that will loop. We can where's Ziggy?
The only thing we can really speculate on is the very existence of my life in terms of form, content, form, content, form. Knock off the bullshit, get to the point. This is the point. It's not bullshit. This is the point.
So you can take it in any direction. So you're getting the idea. I probably should have held on the URL address a bit longer there, but all right. And so just looking at just finish up on this one. So as a presentation,
Time's come. Time is come to. Time is come to. Galvanize. Come on. Time is come.
so, but in the presentation, you'll have your demographic, some mood boards, your timeline, your storyboard, style guide, those things. Okay. Well, let's have a look at the time we have. And so essentially, after this week, there are 2 weeks before the mid-semester break. Our last week will be the week after the mid-semester break. And then from there, we get into a bit of interactivity with Figma, and your portfolio will be coming together as well. So all of these things are hopefully sort of seeded in your mind, but just think of the sequence as communication with flavor, okay? And have a bit of fun with it as well. All good? All right, so as I said, I've put some handy hints there for you for beginning this, planning it. Think about the time that you have. I don't mind if it goes a little bit over, but try and look at how the time is used. Okay? All good?